And you had a question about the run game. I'm looking at all the different ways, like the different guys who are getting the ball, receivers on those sweeps, and the shovel passes are kind of like run plays. What does that do for your offense? And what do you think of like maybe the variety you guys have?
Honestly, I'll say that just opens up more. It just really opens up our offense more, really. Being able to spread the ball around to receivers, running backs, second string running backs, and all that is just good for us, honestly. And I think it'll just spread the defense out more for us. So we'll be able to get more openings and more big runs and set up more plays off of those.
Yeah, and Brady, maybe if you could address that, all the different ways, the variety of ways y'all attack with the run.
Yeah, it makes it fun. Coach Browse does an awesome job of calling up all sorts of different plays and run and pass plays, and it's fun kind of using that variety on Saturdays.
All right, and then for the both of you, is maybe Brady first. What do you see from the Missouri State defense? Maybe they're not as big as SEC teams. Y'all, what do you see when you look at them?
Yeah, they're really well coached, and they've got a lot of good athletes. They have a good defensive line, and they have good linebackers. They fly around. They're a really good team, and we need to be prepared for them.
And AJ, what do you see?
Honestly, I'll say the same thing. Like, obviously, they're not as big, but they still play hard. They play hard just like we do because they're underdogs just like we were last year, just like we still are, kind of, even though we're ranked 10th, but that really don't matter. But they're still going to come at us. They're going to play their hardest. They know they got a chance of winning if they try their hardest. So we got to, like Brady said, we got to be prepared for anything.
Thanks.
Trey. Yeah, fellas, I was curious, with all the things that we see around the country with teams getting upset by teams from smaller conferences and stuff, has Coach said anything to you guys, like specifically about that, just to make sure that you stay on your game?
Well, I mean, upsets happen every single weekend, and that's why you have to prepare every weekend to play like a great opponent. College football is awesome because anyone can win, and that's why whoever shows up and plays the best is going to win. So that's why we need to prepare so well this week.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
And just for both of you guys, when you guys are really rolling in the run game, I mean, you had 65 carries last weekend. What is that like emotionally for you guys when you're just moving the defense back and picking up rushing yards? I mean, it's got to feel demoralizing on the other end. What's it feel like for you guys?
Honestly, I would say that it just feels good, really, because it's I would say the easiest, not easiest, the safest way to move the ball downfield, like without putting it in the air, putting the ball in jeopardy, being able to get behind a good offensive line, getting a good push, and making sure we're getting first downs and stuff like that, protecting the ball, really.
Brady?
It really is. It's fun when you're able to move the ball, and it kind of gives the O-line and the rest of the team kind of a confidence throughout the whole game. And so that kind of confidence, like, is also like a calming feeling. So when we can run like that, it makes the games fun.
Also, I would say that it also brings the offense to a better momentum. We steal the momentum. If the team has something going on and we can get our run game going, we just take the momentum from them.
Thanks, guys.
Coach.
AJ, Coach Pittman was telling us yesterday that in recruiting, he uses the Coach Petrino years where they won 10 and 11 games in back-to-back years as kind of, hey, this is what Arkansas can do. Do you remember that in the recruiting process, him bringing that up?
Oh, yes. They always try to speak up about that stuff because Arkansas wasn't where they wanted to be. And he just always talked about how they wanted to build a new team and start fresh, and I always wanted to be a part of that. That's one of the reasons I came here.
And also, I think it was after the Cincinnati game, Coach Pittman said, I think it was your first run. He said it was like the best he'd ever seen you run since you've been here. Did you feel like that? And how do you feel comfort-wise through 2 games this year compared to last year?
I would definitely say I feel way more comfortable this year. I feel like I'm better prepared for this season, and I was able to get my body right for SEC football, and I've just been feeling good, really.
Hey Brady, and obviously you went against the D lineman in camp, and I don't know if you guys how much one-on-one you guys do. Game weeks maybe a little bit, but what's your take on the D line? Seems like they got a really good rotation, good depth. They're, guys aren't having to play too many snaps. So what's your take on those guys, particularly the newcomers, how they fit in?
Yeah, we have an awesome D line, and we go against them every single day. So I have a really good feel for them. We got a lot of guys with a lot of different strengths, and like you said, the newcomers, like they've only helped us with depth. Terry is balling out, Landon's balling out. I mean, and then the old guys like Zach and Isaiah, all those guys are just like all of our D line is playing really, really good.
Just in your experience as an offensive lineman, how much you think it helps the D line if they can rotate guys and they don't have guys in there huffing and puffing because they don't have anybody good to bring in behind them?
Oh yeah, I think it helps a ton. I was listening to Isaiah. He's talking about how they're able just to play fresh and play full speed the whole game, and I think you can see that our guys are flying around. And when you're fresh and you're able to play at your best, like you can make plays and really help the team.
And AJ, obviously you're doing a good job when you're getting your carries. Rocket's been playing great. And Dominic, he might get back. Dubion's playing well for a freshman. So what do you think of the running back room and how much depth and talent you guys are showing there?
Honestly, I think the running back room is just great. We got a lot of good backs, even the ones that are not even getting into the games, they're really good backs. Like if you watch our practice and watch them down there on the scout teams, they're giving their all and they're doing all we work on in Indy and stuff. But game time, all of our backs are ready to go. I would say that we don't really have a weakest link. So,
For Brady, what's your take on the backs?
Yeah, the running back room, like you're saying, is awesome. I don't think there's one back that like you put out like behind us that we don't feel comfortable with. Like whoever's back there, we feel comfortable to block for them, and like we know that if we put them in good situations, they're going to make plays.
Let's got one more for both you guys. I know you got to be up. You can't overlook anybody, but normally Missouri State wouldn't be get a lot of attention, but because Bobby Petrino's there, it's a really big story. And I know you guys were kids when Bobby was here. Do you guys know much about him and what his time here? And do you get a sense that this is like to the fans, it's a bigger game than usual because of Bobby Petrino?
Well, we've heard, even though we didn't grow up in Arkansas, we were actually both from Oklahoma. We played against each other in high school, but we've heard like and in class and stuff, people talking about it. We know he's a great coach, and we know he had a lot of success here, and that whatever, like it brings a lot of hype to the game, and that's awesome, and that makes us excited too that we're going to go up against such a good opponent.
You got any thoughts on that, AJ?
I would honestly say the same thing. He's a vet. He knows what he's doing back there. He's coaching a good team. He's knowing who to put out there, and he's telling them what to do, and he's doing good at his job. So he did good here, and he's going to keep doing good everywhere he's at. So
Thanks, guys.
Trey, you got your hand up. Anything?
I'm good. Thanks.
All right, Tom, close us out.
Yeah, I just want to ask you both about being top 10. The second year in a row, you guys have been in the top 10, what it feels like, and maybe, you get a little more attention, but you're also a little more hunted,
I would say, yeah, I mean, we're in the top 10, but I think the whole team is still just hungry. We're never satisfied with that. Obviously we got to number 8 last year and then made some mistakes and we dropped a lot. So we're just trying to make sure we don't make those mistakes again, because we know where we could have been last year. And this year we're going to make sure, obviously, that we just keep going, keep rolling, keep going up in the rankings, and we're still never going to be satisfied, even if we end up number 1. So we're just going to keep playing our football.
Yeah, I agree.
Brady, anything else?
Yeah, I agree with what he said. I mean, he summed it up pretty good. Like it's cool and all, but we can't be satisfied. And like he said, like hunted, like we can't take it as like we're getting hunted. Like we still need to go out and hunt those teams. We need to go work every week and like act like, or we need to know that we still have stuff to gain. We still have goals to achieve. Like it doesn't stop here.
Yeah.